once said, "I was always looking outside myself for strength and confidence, but it comes from within and it's there all the time." Hi, I'm Adison Trowbridge, and I'm going to teach you the importance of confidence and how you can gain it. This is the confidence code. But before we get to that, we have to ask ourselves, what is confidence? What is confidence? According to vocabulary.com, confidence is a feeling of trust and firm belief in yourself or others. But this doesn't really capture the true meaning of what confidence is. I want you to ask yourself, what does confidence mean to you? It can vary from person to person, but I think we can all agree that confidence is not a constant. Nobody is born 100% confident. You could be very close, but there's always that one situation that you just aren't confident in. And different scenarios in your life can either elevate or lower your confidence, which brings me to my next point. Why do we lack confidence? I conducted a survey that was taken by the 8th grade, and the question that I asked was, why do you think people lack confidence? 29% of people said social media, and 22.6% of people said public situations. So let's start off with social media. My mentor, Ms. Treebosser, said, "I think we're in a world that's constantly telling us we're not good enough, and that's because of social media. Social media pushes out ideals that aren't good for us, and they force us to doubt ourselves. Like, when you see a picture of somebody in the Bahamas, let's say, you could start to think, what can I do to make my life like theirs? And it's really sad to see somebody try to live a life that they're not meant to live." Next is public situations, like meeting new people. For people that lack confidence, meeting new people is such a struggle because there's the constant worry of, what if they don't like me? And so this can force some people to present themselves as somebody they really aren't. When I was little, I was very outgoing. I could make a conversation without a problem. And then around 7 or 8, I completely lost that trait and I became very, very shy. And that kind of followed me into who I am today. Like for House Council, when we got to take the TCU people to their classrooms, it was always just a long, awkward silence all the way to the classroom because I wasn't confident in myself to make a conversation. And then when I finally did make a conversation, I celebrated because it wasn't an awkward silence. And I think that we need to be at a place where we don't have to celebrate when we make a conversation, it should just be normal. And you can make a conversation by showing interest in a person, like asking how their day was, what they did this weekend, or what they're going to do next weekend. Another reason why I think people lack confidence is the people they surround themselves with. In my survey, I asked, has anybody said something to you and it lowered your confidence? And 71% of people said yes. And then when I asked when you realized you lack confidence, 32.3% of people said 7th or 8th grade. These may seem like a bunch of numbers, but it's great information to why our peers are a reason we lack confidence. Most of us are in 7th or 8th grade, so we don't really watch what we say to people. So we could be making a joke and it goes a little too far, and then the person we're saying it to gets offended. So basically what I'm trying to say is what you say can make or break somebody's confidence. So when you're making a joke and you know the person you're talking to is a little sensitive to things, just think twice before you say something because it could end up saving you from lowering somebody's confidence. Now this next point that I'm about to make is very important and that you need to know if you want to gain confidence. Most of us try to focus on not being arrogant, but we also need to focus on not being underconfident because underconfidence is just as big as an issue as arrogance. Because underconfidence wastes huge amounts of energy that could be used for strategical thinking like in sports. When you're playing a sport and you're underconfident, you're always worried about if people are watching you and if you make a mistake. But when you're confident and you play a sport, you play the game right, you have fun, you do well, and you don't worry about what people think about you. Another downside to underconfidence is that it creates harmful mindsets like anxiety and depression. The anxiety from constantly worrying if people like you or not, and the depression from constantly doubting yourself. Now for arrogance. Arrogance means to have a heightened sense of your abilities. So arrogant people walk into a room and think your views are trash, I'm obviously better than you. While confident people have a great mindset of I'm better than the person I was yesterday. And a similarity between arrogant and confident people is they have the same inner fear of what if I'm not good enough. And so this causes some arrogant people to talk about themselves in a greater lighting, which can come off as bragging. So I didn't just say all this random information for nothing. Here's how you can become confident. First, you have to believe you deserve success. You can't start off with being confident without believing you deserve success. There's just no point. Second, you have to trust your abilities to become confident. It's all about trust. You have to trust your abilities to become confident in order to gain confidence. You can still gain confidence without trusting yourself. It is just very, very hard to. Lastly, you have to work hard. Confidence is like a skill or a muscle. You have to work hard and train right in order to get where you want to be. But most people just can't gain confidence like that. That's why a blogger named Derek Halpern came up with the ABC method, which is basically fake it till you make it. You have to act confident, believe you can be confident, and then you become more confident. And this actually has some science behind it too. Just like when you smile and you start to feel more happy, when you act confident, your body starts to think, I'm acting confident, so I must be confident. And it sends out those confident vibes, which then become a part of you, and then you're more confident. So now that you sort of know the ins and outs of confidence, I have a question for you, Chloe Pollitt. Did you crack the code? Thank you.